Hey guys, Feuerrm here, and today I'm going to be testing the Lamborghini Aventador SV in multiplayer in Asphalt 9, this time at fully maxed. So yes, this is a gold car with all epics and upgrades and import parts and everything applied, which brings us to a rank of 3763. And let's get right to our first race, which is on Scotland. Now let me say right off the bat that this video is pre-recorded several days in advance of when it comes out, so at the time I'm recording this, the Asphalt security livestream thingy is not happening until tomorrow. So there's not going to be anything about that in this video. Sorry guys, but there probably will be in my next one. So to start off with, I've come to the conclusion that the Aventador SV is my favorite car that is not a Mustang or a Shelby. So those of you who were asking about that, here's your answer. I just think it is one of the most beautiful cars ever made, definitely the most beautiful Lamborghini. It looks aggressive and sophisticated all at the same time, and I like that. Also, I very much like its performance in Asphalt 9. It is in no way a king of A-class. It is technically worse than the Aventador J even, but overall I would say it's a pretty speedy and well-rounded car. It doesn't really have any negative aspects, and its nitro efficiency, acceleration, handling, and top speed are all pretty good for its class. I'd say it's just about on par with the McLaren P1 to give you some reference, which has a bit better acceleration but worse nitro efficiency. So in this first race, we managed to pull quite far ahead of these other cars, including a rank 4000 Porsche 918, a 3700 918, and a 3700 Corvette, who is coming in last, not exactly sure how. There was also a 1-star Aperta in that race. I currently have my Aperta at 1 star. Once I get it to 2 stars, I will definitely make a video about it. I don't want to do it before then because then I can't make it purple at 1 star. But I gotta say, at 1 star even, the LaFerrari is quite fun to drive. I mean, it doesn't have the greatest nitro efficiency at 1 star, but everything else about it is pretty good. Definitely better than a 1-star LaFerrari, just the main one. And a couple people behind us both left the track, so it seems like we have it all to ourselves again. So there are currently 3 new cars in this update that have yet to come out: the Jesko, the Ginetta, and the 812 Superfast. Now, the first 3 cars in the update all came out together with the Aperta special event, and then the Targa and the SLR coming out during it, with the Targa having the car hunt and the SLR being available just through packs. So my theory is that in the Jesko event, the Ginetta and 812 Superfast are going to come out with one of them being a car hunt and the other one being available just through those token packs. And this is just based on the pattern of what we've seen in the past, and I see no real reason or indication that they would really change it up for the Jesko one. Now, there is that key to unlock the Jesko, which we still don't know, so maybe the special event will be a bit different, but still I think it's quite likely those other 2 cars in the update will come out during it. So definitely be saving up your tokens until whenever the Jesko event comes out, because those cars will likely be instrumental in getting it and or starring it up. Here we beat 2 3800 Corvette Grand Sports, a 3800 Feuerrm, and a 3900 VLF. You can see that even though this car isn't technically a king of A-class in terms of lap times, in multiplayer it can certainly do the job. So some of you may know of a YouTuber named Zigzag, who makes a lot of videos about Asphalt Extreme. Yes, I don't quite know why, because that game is pretty much dead at this point, but anyway, mostly he makes videos about that, but sometimes he makes these videos called What You Might Not Notice in Asphalt 9 or something like that, where basically he's gone through game files and found things that are not added to the game technically yet, but are in the files. And some of them are quite interesting. For example, some things pointing to a new track location, Osaka, which is a city in Japan, possible new license plates, and just a bunch of other little neat things that you probably won't find anywhere else. Now, obviously, I would not recommend going through game files yourself. This is something that could really get you banned. But these videos are still pretty cool to see. So we've gotten pretty far on this Himalayas track now. As you can see, this Aventador SV can get around these corners without much of a problem, and it can get over these ice patches without a problem because of its nitro efficiency. Overall, this car is just fun to drive, not exactly as much as a car like the Corvette, for example. And for me at least, the SV is also a quite stable car. I haven't had nearly as many physics glitches and other things like that in it as I have in some other cars. Now for a race on Scotland against 2 3800 VLFs, a 3700 Corvette, a 3500 Corvette, and a 3500 BC. And speaking of BC, I do plan to upload a video very soon about the BC at max. Not my races, as I just have the BC at 1 star, but I've only done one video about it before, which was at 3 stars, and I really want you guys to see how it performs at max, because it is now the practical king of A-Class. And why I say practical king is because technically the Aperta is better at max. Supersonic has tested that and found it to be true, but most people, at least not for now, and I don't actually know if anybody can get the Aperta to max at this point. Now, probably there will be packs for it later when some other new A-Class king comes out. But yeah, that is why, for all practical purposes, the Feuerrm is currently the A-Class king. It's got very good handling, nitro efficiency, and top speed, and really the only thing it's lacking is acceleration, which is where the LaFerrari Aperta definitely beats it out, at least at max, of course. But it looked like the Feuerrm in this race wasn't too much of a match for us, and we do manage to take the victory here with a bit of a trouble at the end there. I almost thought I was going to fall off to the left, but thankfully I didn't. But now, how will we do on Rome against a 3700 BC and 4 Corvette Grand Sports, 3 of them above 3800 rank? This is on one of the more recently added Rome variants, and what I've found that is good to do at the very beginning of this race is pretty much every single time, whether in the front or the back, drift some, get as much nitro as you can at the beginning, but you need to get a shockwave through that section at the beginning there. Because if you don't, there will be somebody who does, and he will shockwave you from behind, or somebody will push you to the side. It's just definitely a lot safer to shockwave there than to do pretty much anything else, and I speak from experience. One little fun fact about the Aventador SV is that in the event for the Aperta, there are some Aventador J days, and in those it actually shows the SV as the thumbnail for those days. GameLoft has been told about it, but they've said that they can't really do anything about it at this point, so it's just something funny to see. I don't honestly know just how many people have noticed it so far, probably mostly car enthusiasts, so I can assume that RPM Justin noticed it pretty much right away. Here I have a bit of a bro moment and try to go away that doesn't exist on this track. Yeah, I had thought for a second that it was the track where you could go to the left there. That just happens to me sometimes, on Rome in particular, which is another reason why I really do not like Rome tracks in general in multiplayer, but we do manage to come in first here with those Corvettes in BC not even on the map. This car is just well suited for pretty much any track. The BC in this race also did quite well, beating all those Corvette Grand Sports. Now in this next race, we've got 2 3800 Corvette Grand Sports on a map which is quite twisty at some parts, but does have some decently long, straighter sections as well. So I would say that the Corvette's biggest weakness, after seeing it in multiplayer and using it myself, is its sort of average acceleration. Obviously, it also doesn't have such great top speed, but on many tracks, I mean, its top speed of 216-ish miles per hour is pretty sufficient if it can get ahead. Now that's where that not so great acceleration comes into play. If you can get ahead in the beginning with a car with better acceleration and better top speed, but not as great handling or whatever, really you only have to worry about keeping speed around the turns, and those Corvettes are not going to catch up. And that's pretty much what I've been doing throughout all these races in this Aventador SV. If I can just generally keep my speed above what those Corvettes are at, I can stay ahead of them, even if they can make it around the corners, technically with better speed than I can. It's just I have a better overall speed on the track. And I must admit, this specific Shanghai variant is probably one of my lesser favorite ones. However, it is not all that bad. There are just some parts I don't really care for. Like this end section here can sometimes throw a curveball at you, but this one worked out pretty well, and I do manage to take the victory here. And again, we see the power of the BC with a 3300 one beating those 2 3800 Corvette Grand Sports. That 6-star Feuerrm BC video is definitely one that you're going to want to watch. So now for our final race on Rome, where every single car is above 3500 rank. There's another Aventador, there's a VLF, there's a Corvette, there is a Pagani Huayra. There's just a bigger variety of cars in this race than I think in any other race in this video. You know what time it is now, guys, and I don't even have to say it. This car, I really do enjoy driving, I really like the looks of, I just like everything about it, including its proficiency in Platinum League and multiplayer. If you know how to drive it, it can with ease compete with the best of the A-Class cars, and everything about it is just very good. It's got great handling, acceleration, top speed is pretty good for its class, and its nitro efficiency is also quite good. If you want a very well-rounded and stable car, well, this one is going to fit you perfectly. If you would like to see how the J performs in multiplayer at max, I have a video by Rulu up about that on my channel, and I have the car at 2 stars and can say that it does drive quite well, even not at max. I've said this in my past couple videos, but I will say it again. At 24,000 subscribers, I will be uploading another Asphalt 9 music video, my second one, all about multiplayer in this game. So stay tuned for that, and consider subscribing if you would like to see that come a bit faster. So we round the final bends in perfect nitro and come in first place. Thank you all for watching. Please like the video if you've enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt 9 and Forza content, and especially that music video. And I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!